Most beginner freelancers waste their time trying to create the perfect job proposal or cover letter for Upwork jobs, only for it to never get opened. Today, I'm going to show you one of my own winning proposal templates and teach you the 8 secret rules that will help you stand out so that your job proposals get seen, opened, messaged, and most importantly, turn into paying contracts. I'm Erica Nall. I'm a top 1% Upwork freelancer out of more than 18 million other freelancers. I have personally sent more than 600 proposals on Upwork, and my students as of today have earned more than $700,000 on the Upwork platform. So I'm going to pull up one of my past winning proposals, and I'm going to walk you through these 8 cover letter rules that most Upwork beginners don't even know to use. And by the way, I have this exact proposal for you down in the description for free, along with a checklist so that you can follow along while writing your own. Don't forget to grab that before you go. All right, so let's hop into the rules. Rule number 1, we are going to write for scanners and not for readers. So I want you to take a look at this proposal that I have up on the screen. All right. This proposal is written in a way to be scanned. These have short, choppy sentences. You'll notice that no single paragraph has more than 3 or 4 sentences at most. I have white space between each paragraph, as well as you'll notice that there are emojis used throughout it. We use the emojis not only to pull the eye in and draw them down the proposal, but also to help break it up into short little sentences rather than giving them a big wall of text or long paragraphs to read. All right. Rule number 2 is I want you to win the opening hook. Here's what I mean by that. The first 2 to 3 sentences that you have on your proposal are the most important real estate you have on that entire cover letter. All right. On the client side, when they are looking through proposals, and often they have 20, 30, 50, 100 different proposals to go through, Upwork only surfaces those first couple of sentences that they can see as a preview. So we have to make sure that we are making great use out of that real estate, as it's the only thing they see before they decide if they're going to click through and read more. And what I see people do here all the time is completely waste the space by talking about themselves. They'll open up with stuff like, "Hi, my name is Joe," or "I was so excited to see that you posted this job. I have X experience in ABC. This job is a great fit because I've spent the last 20 years doing XYZ," right? You notice in that you're talking about yourself. So here's a gut check that I want you to do for yourself. I want you to go pull up the last few proposals you did, and I want you to count how many times you use language like I, me, my. That is your sign that you are wasting this real estate. Here's what I want you to do instead. We are going to talk about the pain that they are experiencing, because they would not be posting this job on Upwork unless they have a specific pain that they are trying to solve. And they need to know that you are the person that can solve it, but they can't know that unless they know that you understand what they're experiencing. So we are going to talk about the exact pains that led to them looking for whatever this job is. So let's go to the example proposal I have. So in this example, I'm a sales copywriter. This was for an email upsell sequence. Okay. So here is the opening hook. You already did the hard part. The people on your list know you, trust you, and they've paid you once. Right now, most of them would happily buy the next thing too, but no one's asking. So you're back on the content treadmill, cranking out another post, another reel, another freebie, burning yourself out, hunting for new buyers instead. All right, so here's the things that I want you to notice in this. First, look at how many yous and yours are in that opening hook, right? People always respond better when you talk to them. The other thing that we're talking about here is we're dropping into their moment of pain. Yes, they want an upsell sequence, but we need to really think about why do they want that email upsell sequence? They want to not have to continue to sell. They want things that are automated in the background that sell automatically for them, right? They have people that are buying, but they want them to buy higher priced products, right? So we have to think about what led them to post this job in the first place. Once we know that, then we can write about the pain points that they're probably experiencing that are going to be relieved by providing them this service that they're asking for. So we're saying you've already got people, they've already paid you once, but they're not paying you again. Pain point. You're agitating a bit about the fact that they're having to constantly be going and getting new customers and reselling them, being on the content treadmill, another post, another reel, right? So we're bringing up that pain for them. There's a couple other strategic things I'm doing in here. These are little bonuses for you. So I want you to notice that I also have a colorful emoji within the first sentence. Okay, this can come at the beginning, the end, in between, but use at least one colorful emoji, because again, this is the tiny little window that shows for the client, and something as small as just a little pop of color can draw the eye. So you'll also notice that I took a word like happily and I put it in all caps. Upwork doesn't allow you to bold, italicize, so instead look for words that you want to bold and put them in all caps. It's just one more easy way to draw the eye. By the way, if you want my full Upwork system where I teach you how to go from I have no idea what I'm doing all the way to earning your first 10,000 plus on the Upwork platform, there is a link down in the description where you can grab a 7-day free trial to my school community, Freelance with Erica. All right, now we're going to move on to rule number 3. This is where I want you to become the solution and paint the dream. Here's what I mean by that. So we're going to look at this next section. Now what we want to do is we want to position you to be the obvious solution who can help fix this pain that they're experiencing. You're going to use one tiny segue sentence. So this is going to be something along the lines of, I've mastered, and then insert whatever the skill is that they're looking for. So I've mastered upsell email sequences so well that, and so we want to position you as the expert, as the person that's mastered it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to transition into a 3-point list. This 3-point list is what I call painting the dream. So we're going to talk about what you're capable of doing, but we're going to describe it in the outcomes that they're going to get. So I'm not going to read all 3 of these, but I'm going to read the first one and we'll go through that one together. You're going to get a ready to send sequence that walks your past customers from their first purchase to the upgrade with subject lines built to get opened and copy built to get clicked. So we're painting this dream of it's going to be ready to go. It's going to send a sequence. It's going to get people to upgrade with subject lines that are built to get open, another tangible outcome that they want, right? And copy that's built to get clicked. I have 4 different outcomes just in that one first bullet point. So the more you can pack in, the better. And we want them to get excited about what we can deliver for them. Rule number 4. We're going to lead with proof. So we don't just want to promise them this outcome, we want to prove it to them, okay? And so we a testimonial or a result that we've gotten, and we tie this directly to the outcomes that we just promised them. It doesn't have to be a testimonial on Upwork. If you have testimonials somewhere else, you can use those and pull them in. If you don't have a testimonial, that's okay. Instead, think about a positive past result that you've gotten for somebody, and you can say something like, in my last campaign, I got a 40% open rate on an upsell sequence, as well as a 12% conversion rate on the sales page, right? And so you need to pull in specific numbers with specific results, but if you have a testimonial, even better. So we're going to feature a testimonial. That's my preferred way. Again, we're going to use emojis. I like to use 5 yellow stars. It's a really easy way for people to quickly know that that is a quote and a testimonial that you are featuring. Always use quote marks around your testimonials. And I want you to be really choosy in choosing the best lines and the best testimonials of the ones that you have that best fit this job that you're applying for. And you're going to feature that right after you walk them through, here's your pain, here's the outcomes I'm going to get you, and now here's the proof of why you can believe that that is something that I can do for you, okay? So you can see the example here that I used in this proposal. So need proof. Here's what a recent client said. Erica wrote a 7 email upsell sequence for our high ticket course. It paid for itself in 72 hours. It added 31% to our revenue, to the same list we already had, and people replied to thank us for the emails. Unbelievable, right? So you're just going to grab the best testimonial that you have. You're going to feature it there. Rule number 5, I want you to show the meals and not the groceries. Here's what I mean by that. So this is where we finally get to talk about you. So you've been waiting this whole time, right, to be able to talk about yourself. This is where you get to tell them about those credentials or certifications you have, those years of experiences you have, different software that you work with. But what I see a lot of people do is they stop there. They list the groceries. So they will just list off their experiences and certifications, and they don't actually tie it to Why should this client care about that? What we need to do is not only list the things and our capabilities, but we need to tie it to a reason for why does it matter to the client, all right? So here's an example. Again, I'm not going to read every single one of these, but I'll read the first one. So what I bring to the table: top rated plus and expert vetted, top 1% out of more than 18 million freelancers with a 100% job success score. When I name a deadline, you can plan your week around it. So I'm listing the groceries at first, right? Top rated plus, expert vetted, top 1%, 100% job success score. But then you can see I tie it to an outcome. So when I name a deadline, you can plan your week around it, right? So I'm showing them I am an expert, I'm a professional at what I do, and you can trust me with your work and with your project. A quick reminder here, you don't have to memorize all of these rules, right? I have them all in that checklist that's down below in the description that you can grab. All right, so let's move on to rule number 6. We want to make this an easy yes for the client. What I want you to do here is we are going to make an offer to the client, but the offer is not to go straight to just let's start this contract right now. Instead, what we want to do is we want to reduce the friction as much as possible. And we want to think about what is the smallest next step that I could ask them to do that would be a really easy yes for them. So there's all sorts of different ways that you could do this. But a few examples could be something like, it could be hopping on a quick 15-minute call with you. In my case, I'm going to show you an example of doing a small scope trial. You want to do something that is small, scale, low stakes for them that makes it an easy yes. Because chances are, if we're just saying, message me so we can talk about this big contract, you're just one of 30, 50, 100 different proposals. And if it's a bigger job, they're going to take their time. They're going to want to talk to multiple freelancers before they make a long-term commitment. So what we want to do is try and cut the line by giving them a much smaller, easy yes that moves them to action now rather than waiting for more proposals to come in, rather than waiting to talk to a bunch of different people. So here's how I do this in my proposal. Copywriting is subjective. What's Hemingway to one person is Captain Underpants to the next. So before any big commitment, let's do a 2-hour trial. This will give us a chance to assess mutual fit. You'll get to see firsthand the quality and how much I can get done, and we can decide how to continue from there. Do you see how immediately we're taking it from a bigger job, a bigger commitment, down to a very low risk, much easier yes, right? Saying yes to that is really not making the commitment to the long-term contract. So then they're not going to worry as much about needing to wait for more proposals to come in or who they need to talk to. Because in their brain, they're thinking, you know what, I could just do this 2-hour trial while I continue to wait for proposals to come in, while I talk to these people. And so then that gives you your chance to show what you can do and then earn that contract before they ever have to talk to any other freelancer. So we want to make an offer and make it an easy yes. That's rule number 6. Rule number 7, we are always going to name our next step. So in the closing, I always want you, they call this a call to action or a CTA. If the client is not the one leading you to the next step, you are always going to be leading them to the next step. We don't want this to turn into something that trails off at the end, like, I hope to hear from you. I'm really excited about this job. I hope we talk soon. That is a very soft sort of close. We want to make a very specific ask of them. So when you get to the end, this is where you're going to ask them to either send me a couple times that work for you next week and let's schedule a call, or tomorrow and let's schedule a call. Send me a message, reply that you're in, right? And we'll get started. It could also double as part of your offer, but even on your offer, it could be something like, send me over an example of this and I will get back with you with my top 3 recommendations of what we should do, right? So we always want to give them an action that we're asking them to take. In my example that I give you, it says, if you're ready to get started this week, just send me a message and say you're in. I can begin as early as tomorrow. All right. And so we're always going to name the next action. And then that teases into our next rule, which is that we always want to be creating a bit of gentle urgency. Okay. And so when I say urgency, I don't want you to get super salesy. I don't want you to sound like an infomercial, but there are ways that we can create some urgency that gives this person a reason to take action now versus waiting a week, 2 weeks, a month before they decide to go through their proposals and respond to people. So a few of the different ways you can create urgency in your proposals is you can use time-based urgency. So you can see, I can start as early as tomorrow. right? So for someone who maybe is really excited to get their project done, they want someone with easy, fast availability. If that's true for you, you can leverage language like that where you use time. You also can create urgency through availability. So like I said, I can start as early as tomorrow, but it also could be, I have some hours still open this week if you would like to grab them before they fill up, right? So again, be truthful in the things that you're saying, but you can create urgency through availability. And then you also can create urgency through some sort of incentive. So the incentive could be something like you're going to give them a limited time discount on your rate if they start within a certain time frame. It could be that you're going to give them some sort of bonus or extra if they get started within a certain amount of time. All right. So here in my example is how that looks. So PS, I think this could be a great fit. So if you'd like to get started this week, I'll take $10 off my hourly rate because I'd love to be the one that helps you with this, right? And the more things you can combine, the better. So you can see I'm using a bit of time urgency, right, with an incentive. I'll take $10 off my rate. So those are the 8 rules that will help your proposals go from being completely ignored to getting opened and responded to. And I promise you, if you follow these rules, you're going to have better proposals than 99% of the other beginners on Upwork. And clients are going to finally start opening, responding, and turning into contracts. If you'd like my help in helping you break through and start to finally earn money on Upwork, I have the exact prompts and the trainings that will help you create proposals just like this one inside of my school community. Again, there's a link down below in the description that will give you a free 7-day trial. If you found this helpful, please hit the subscribe button as I have many more of these trainings coming up ahead. And tell me in the comments, of these 8 rules, how many of them were you already using and which one surprised you the most? All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.